let's have a sesh on just in case versus just in time. These are going to be the basics, the definition, and the pros and the cons. There's also another video where I'm going to look at where it probably makes sense to use just in case or just in time, and that's the evaluation video. Please look at that after this. So just in case, it's the traditional method that businesses use, as opposed to just in time, which is about the lean production philosophy. Just in case, it's about having lots of stock. You've always got lots of stock, so you feel safe and secure in that. Versus just in time, where each day or each week, the bare minimum stock is held, just enough to make what you expect to produce in that period. The positives of just in case. Well, you're likely to get economies of scale because it's probably likely you're going to buy your raw materials or your components in bulk. And if you buy them in bulk, you'll get a lower average cost. Also, even better, is that you won't have to get deliveries every single day, for example, with just in time, so you probably also save on transport costs. Number two is that with just in case, if the suppliers fail to deliver to you, it's no biggie. You can still keep your production going that day, as opposed to just in time where it is not possible. So there's less risk to your suppliers. Obviously, if it happened over and over and over again, then a problem starts, but you can get away with it a few times. Number three, you could react to unexpected changes in demand. So if there's a fashion or a trend and there's a huge demand for your product, then if you've got just in case, it means you've got lots of stock. So you'll still be able to sell and make sales in that space. Whether just in time, you might need to scramble around to get more and more raw materials in, get more components in to produce the good. In this case, with just in case, you're already ready. Let's look at the advantages of just in time. So the advantages of just in time is you do not need storage costs. You don't need to pay to put your stock, like in just in case, in some sort of warehouse. And you don't need to pay workers to work at the warehouse to keep it secure. So that's a massive cost, storage cost, and depending on how much stock you have, well, your storage costs could get even more. Number two, there's less risk of your stock going wrong because your stock could go off, like my silly potatoes example in the other video, or it could be tampered with, or worst case, if it's a high value item, it could be stolen. And if it's stolen, well, then you might have to pay for more workers, more security. Number three, relates to closer to this about lean production. There's just less waste when you use just in time, less waste. And number four, a bonus that you could bring into other areas is about increased cash flow. Because if you're spending less money on those big orders, like with just in case, it means you've got more cash knocking around. That's going to mean more cash flow. Higher cash flow means you have more flexibility. Maybe you have the capital to go and invest in some other fashion that's happening at the same time, versus if you did just in case, you wouldn't have that cash to do it because you spent it all on that massive order for that just in case method. Now let's look at the disadvantages of each. So disadvantages of just in case is one, storage costs. Straightforward, it's just the flip of that. So you're going to have loads of storage costs depending on how much stock you've got because you've got loads of it. And two, there's more risk of waste because you've got all your stock sitting in your warehouse and all these things could go wrong. Disadvantages of just in time. Well, number one is you're less likely to get those economies of scale. Less likely to get those economies of scale because you're having to make loads and loads and loads of orders and they're probably all going to be for small quantities, so your average cost is going to be higher. Also, you're going to have to pay more transport costs because every single day, for example, you're getting your deliveries in, you're going to have to pay for that. And number two, there's this communication risk because now that you've got to bring in your orders every day, you might have to pay a worker in your company, and that's going to cost, to speak to the suppliers each day to ensure the correct amount of raw materials or components are coming in. And that basically is it for just in time, just in case. Please check out the evaluation video because I think that will be helpful to the recommend question that could come up for this. Good luck with your exams.